Hey, hi Carver Squad, welcome back to a new video. In this video, we'll talk about how to use the Summer's War optimizer for building your Lushens. In this video, I won't tell you how to use the optimizer, like how to import your file, but I'll teach you how I use the optimizer to build my Lushen, my RTA team, my arena team, okay? I recommend you use the optimizer if you have max grinds and gemmed out your runes. Reason being is, let's give you an example right here. You have a slot 4 rune with no speed, quad roll crit rate, okay? And you don't have any speed on it, not usable, but once you gem in speed, it's usable, and that's how the optimizer will not account for these runes that don't have the gems in it, okay? So I recommend you, if you have that, or if you even touch R5, or you probably won't even touch raid for a while, then go ahead and use the optimizer as well. Before I get into this video, I'm going to turn off my webcam because my webcam is covering a part of the screen and you'll probably want to see that. I don't want to miss anything here, okay? So let's turn that off and we'll go from there. So let's look at the features here. Let's assume you already imported your file and then you're building your monsters here, okay? You don't want to use locked runes because the way we're going to do it is we're assuming your whole account is broken. We're going to do one monster at a time. So you're never going to use the locked runes because once you build your first monster, you lock those runes, you won't touch them again, okay? Use only runes from inventory and storage. No, because you want to use runes from your whole account. You can probably click this because if you don't have max slot 1, it means you don't have enough damage. Or maybe if you're building a support unit, it's a reflect HP. Maybe you don't have the mana. It's not in the world, you can do this, okay? For my purpose, I've already maxed them. I really don't care. And then none of these things are really matter for me. And we'll go here and you can pick your monster. I pick Lushen here. And before you start optimizing your Lushen, I do want to say, let's say for RTA purposes, okay, you click on the speed tune button right here, and this is not my best stat speed. I'll obviously put a fake speed here because I'm not showing you guys my speed, but for RTA purposes, you're gonna click use RTA ticks, okay? So my primary booster is Bastet or Draco. The reason why I put Bastet and not Draco is because if they ban the Draco, Bastet has a lower attack bar increase, okay? So that's why I put her. You're speed tuning to 1 attack bar booster here. And in my draft, I will always have something like this, and that's why I'm using the speed lead with Shimite, okay? So this is my speed here, and these are the minimum speeds that you're looking to target for your units. So because I'm not giving you my Lushen speed, you're probably going to optimize with the minimum speed for your team for RTA. If you don't reach this, it means you're gonna get cut from speed, like you're gonna get cut in between. But if you can't reach it, sometimes you can take the risk and put it on will, okay? But I'm gonna make this video assuming that you can go achieve these minimum speeds. So my minimum speed, I'm gonna go back to builds, my Lushen. I want to build my Lushen on Swift Blade. You can probably fiddle around because I don't know your rune quality here. It can be Rage Blade, it can be Swift Blade, it can be, there's so many opportunities. It can be Rage Blade, you can be Fatal Blade, you can be Swift Blade, or you can even be the Will variation. Depends what you're doing, okay? However, you know your runes best. You know if your Fatal runes are garbage because you don't re-up that, you re-up Swift, okay? My situation is that. So here are the filters I would use. Slot 2, 4, 6, speed, attack, crit damage, and attack, okay? And I don't click use grinds because like I said, never know when you're getting a +5 grind, right? You never know when you'll get that. So these are the runes I use with presets. Keep in mind, I'm not an expert in it. I just know how to use it to a good extent, okay? So the bottom left, we'll see focus. I want to focus on attack percentage for damage, speed, because I want to be speed tuned, crit rate, and crit damage. All of the DPS stats. And here, honestly, I'm not an expert. I'll leave this default, okay? So here is what really matters. Your minimum speed that we saw earlier under the speed tune right here, 187, slap that into your builds as your minimum speed, okay? This is your minimum speed that you want to slap here. For me, I put a number that I can speed tune for all my units, okay? So keep in mind, when you are speed tuning your RTA team, you are doing it. 187 is this is the last unit that goes on your team. Lushen is the last unit that goes on your team. Okay. However, if you can't make these units, Garo and Shimate, go before your Lushen, then you have a problem. Okay. So don't try to put like above it just because you have more speed. You want to make sure all 3 units can be running at the same relative speed. And for me, that build is around the 235 speed minimum mark. Okay. For a lot of you guys, crit rate is going to be really important. For cleave users like myself, I put at 85 or 100. But honestly, for arena, I would do 85. But for RTA, I would do at least bare minimum 90. For you guys in the fighter conqueror range, this is probably best for you. People in G3, G2, I expect you to have 99 to 100. Okay, 99. I put 99 because you don't really want to exclude like even 97 or even like 98, because you don't want to exclude certain builds that will trigger more damage because you lost 1 crit rate, for example. Okay, so I'm assuming at the highest level I'm doing it like this because this is the requirements I put on myself. Okay, these are my expectations myself. Your expectations are gonna be a little bit different. Crit damage, I don't really bother to put a filter in because I have the focus here. The main focus for me is having that speed tuned and crit damage. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and optimize. And I recommend you have the PC version, not the web version, because it can crash. And then you see this cog wheel right here. This is important, okay? Don't miss this step. Click the cog wheel, and then we will see that we're using option number 2. So make sure you click on your unit is your Lushen. The skill is amputation magic. Don't touch the multipliers because it's default here. We have max skill up here, okay, for damage. And then we have ignore defense because that's what Lushen does, ignores damage. You use buildings because you want to assume you have max buildings for RTA and arena. Use attack buff because you always have attack buff, and you want, if you don't have attack buff, this gives you the number of how much damage you will do. Okay, so here we go. Also click crit because we're assuming we always crit to get the maximum damage we're outputting. So we click apply and boom. Okay, so we filter by damage. So right now, the top build is what I'm currently running. Right now, my 228 speed. I need to improve that right now. So by just clicking the damage filter, I will see this is how much damage I do. This is the best build in terms of damage. However, is it the best build in terms of speed? It meets my minimum speed requirements, right? And this is where you will have to play around with your other 3 units, other 2 units, whatever, of the speed tuning, okay? Because this is your minimum speed. Keep that in mind. This is your minimum speed. This is giving you everything above my minimum speed or just on my minimum speed. So you're not just slapping you're not slapping that best damage build and you're putting the runes on. You have to keep in mind that, hey, I am going to build 2 other units that have to be above the 237 speed range, or if I click this one, it's got to be above the 239 speed range. Keep that in mind. So, but for me, I'm gonna slap this because this is my best build, my highest damage build. And then you can see the runes here. Okay, you see the runes here, not bad. What you want to do is you click equip and then lock. I don't know what the variation is. I think it's equip and then lock. I'm not sure which one is which, but I just slap it like a billion times to make sure it works. Okay, so once it's equipped and locked, you go onto your next unit. So we talked about earlier how you don't use locked runes because we already locked these runes and we don't want to recycle them. You'll see right here, there's a lock, right? So you know you won't be using these runes again, and that's why I won't be doing that. So let's just say I'm building a double Lushen set, okay? And in my scenario here, my double Lushen is, my speed is plus 237. So for you guys who are building a double Lushen team and whatever your speed range is, I'm going with my example, 237. This one doesn't have Swift. Okay, it doesn't have Swift. Sorry, it doesn't have Will. It has Swift Blade. That's not Will. And whenever you're running double Lushens, you want to have Will. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna create a new Lushen build. So I have Lushen 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But we're gonna do Lushen 2. We're gonna change it to Will. So we saw here that my speed is 237. He goes first. Okay, so this Lushen will go first because it's not on Will. Your non-Will Lushen, I'm going to cap his speed at 237. And obviously, you don't want to have a big range between minimum speed and actual speed because you will get cut. So I'm gonna think +2, +1, +3, whatever your rune quality is the plus minus differential between them. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna keep in mind, and then I'm optimizing again. So I still have the same filters as before, as you can see right here. And this time, I'm going to filter by damage, and these are my runes. So here we see, this is my Swift Will Lushen. He is 235 speed. There's a 2 speed gap, that's okay. He's on Will. My double Lushen team is now complete. Equip, lock, we are done. So that's how you want to build your double Lushen team with the optimizer. And then when you revisit for RTA, click the speed tune. You're going to do the exact same thing I just did with my double Lushen team, but you're going to use Shimate instead. The Shimate is going to be above my Lushen. So for example, I click build. I'm going to slap in Shimate. I didn't lock this Lushen because I'm not focusing on Arena Lushen. I'm focusing on RTA build. That's why I didn't lock it, okay? Keep that in mind. Because my Lushen's 237 speed minimum, I got to be above that. So my minimum speed is now going to be 237. You can't find any builds at the speed mark you want with the crit rate. Fiddle around with your crit rate and lessen it. Okay. So here again, we're gonna filter by damage. This time for Shimate, we're not ignoring damage. You know, we're not ignoring damage. We're using attack buff and using buildings. We're max skilled. We're gonna apply. And this is my damage here. Okay, I'm not an expert in doing Shimate. This is the average damage. I'm not doing it by skill. If I were to do it by skill, I'd probably do an Airbender because Airbender is a skill that I use first. Okay, if not, use Cyclone. But you can see that the damage is different because of the scaling, skills, but nonetheless, you still want to filter by how much damage you do. So I see that all these builds, they're above 237 speed mark, right? But for Shimate, I also want to keep in mind that accuracy is good. And when I'm looking at this, 242 it's good, right? This is good because it's not super crazy above 237. 250 on the other hand means that this is going to be super fast and there's going to be a big gap in between. And am I sacrificing a lot of damage? No, not really, but you want to keep in mind that these runes, you want to use it on other units as well, not just your number 2 unit, right? But this is how I would prioritize my optimization, and this is how I would do it. Okay, so just to summarize again, make sure you're using the speed tune feature and click the RTA speed ticks. If you're not using RTA speed ticks, just click refresh and then you'll have another new number. So once you have your minimum speed number for RTA, slap that into your builds button at the minimum speed, slap that total number in, and then find a crit rate number that works best for you, and then optimize with a damage build I told you with Lushen, and then do the next step for your double Lushen team, your Julie team, your Shimate, Garo, whatever it is, all right? So I hope you guys learned something new from the Summoners War Optimizer. Like I said, I'm not perfect with this. I just know how to use it to a good amount that helps build my team. If this helped you, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to help this video grow, support my channel, help me reach my goal. Right? See you guys in the next video. I might do a video optimization if this helped you for more specific double Lushen or like Julie Lushen if that's for your request. All right. See you guys in the next video.